exit sign looked tired in the drizzle, December gray, not white. Same broken neon on the old marquee as I pulled into the city tonight. I passed the high school where the floodlights died and saw the familiar faded stain. The ghost of 20 years clings to the curb through the smear of the November rain. They paved over the lot where we bought the trees. Now it's just fast food and harsh white light, but the ghost of cold diesel and deep pine sap still hangs in the air, heavy and tight. It's just cold air and tinsel now and the hum of careful modern sound, but I'd trade this quiet convenience for the way that old joy wrapped around. We're chasing a voltage we can't hold, a frequency that won't remain. I miss the static hum on the radio dial and those tangled, complicated Christmas days. We always had to drive 3 towns away for the one perfect crooked Ponderosa. My father swore that tree had more character than all the perfect ones they showed us. The needles always drop before New Year's and the angel on top leaned to the right. But we didn't care that half the bulbs were blown when we sat wrapped up in that patchy light. My mother made that terrible spice cider that always burned your throat and left you stained. It's the specific sting of that bitter joy that I desperately wish I could regain. It's just cold air and tinsel now and the hum of careful modern sound, but I'd trade this quiet convenience for the way that old joy wrapped around. We're chasing a voltage we can't hold, a frequency that won't remain. I miss the static hum on the radio dial and those tangled, complicated Christmas days. Maybe the season isn't broken, maybe it's just the ache of the clock, looking too hard for the perfect shine when the beauty was hidden in the shock. Finding warmth despite the cold outside, of knowing nothing ever stays the same, and realizing that the true illumination was never in the candle or the flame. It's just cold air and tinsel now and the hum of careful modern sound, but I'd trade this quiet convenience for the way that old joy wrapped around. We're chasing a voltage we can't hold, a frequency that won't remain. I miss the static hum on the radio dial and those tangled, complicated Christmas days. Just the static hum, just the static hum of the cold corner evergreen, fading out again, fading out again. The dashboard clock is stuck on 2:17, same as it was when I left in '93. Radio static eats up all the good songs, just a hollow hum where the choir belongs. I'm running late but the snow is holding back, the cold December air against the glass. I see the chain stores drowning in electric blue, but I'm looking for the yellow light I used to know. It's tinsel and 2-lane roads again, just the same dusty garlands. Where do we begin? It's the quiet sound of tradition, the one thing we keep out of superstition. We don't need a miracle to make the feeling stay. Just the scent of old pine and a slow familiar day, and the tiny worn out star balanced on the highest limb. We keep coming back to the things that used to dim. The key still hides beneath the terracotta pot. A little green paint chipped away in the same spot, and the heater coughs out air that smells like dust and age, turning over chapters on an unread page. My sister's kids are sprawled out sleeping on the floor, beside a pile of wrapping paper from the year before. And there's that old cassette tape with the label torn and stained, playing hymns my mother taught when it rained. It's tinsel and two-lane roads again, just the same dusty garlands. Where do we begin? It's the quiet sound of tradition, the one thing we keep out of superstition. We don't need a miracle to make the feeling stay. Just the scent of old pine and a slow familiar day, and the tiny worn out star balanced on the highest limb. We keep coming back to the things that used to dim. We spend all year chasing down a bigger, brighter thing, the kind of engineered joy that the advertisements bring. But I watch my father stringing lights beneath the eaves, warm gloves shielding hands that still believe. And I finally understood the comfort in the warm, why we celebrate the light that's patiently reborn. Not in the sudden flash or the loud spectacular cheer, but the simple fact that we are all still here. It's tinsel and two-lane roads again, just the same dusty garlands. Where do we begin? It's the quiet sound of tradition, the one thing we keep out of superstition. We don't need a miracle to make the feeling stay. Just the scent of old pine and a slow familiar day, and the tiny worn out star balanced on the highest limb. We keep coming back to the things that used to dim. Yes, we keep coming back to the things that used to dim. The fire is low, the shadows stretch out long, the quiet truth of where we all belong. Slow cruising, sun fades out. Slow coaster, strong fades out. Slow coaster, strong fades out. The gravel spat beneath the tire tracks, a sound I only hear when I come back. The porch light burns a tired amber glow, just bright enough to melt the thin new snow. And Dad's old wreath, it's thin and turning brown, still hangs slightly tilted upside down. I turn the key, the brass plate worn and cool. the familiar scent of wood smoke and mothball wool. I'm looking for the map of when I left, a younger ghost I hope the years haven't kept. Oh, it's the third week of December and the magic is threadbare. It lives in the boxes that we didn't care to share. It's not the bright reflection or the perfectly trimmed tree. It's the small predictable comfort that still settles over me. And for a fragile hour, the pavement dust is gone, and I'm just trying on the feeling of where I belong. Mom plays that scratchy vinyl, the one that skips at track 4. She says, don't stand there gawking, child, right inside the door. The tree we dragged home stands there leaning hard against the wall, supported by a copy of the '92 baseball almanac fall, and the lights are tangled worse than any fishing net. But we don't fix what hasn't broken yet. The popcorn chains are yellow, dry and thin. I watch my brother laugh exactly where he's always been. And we rehearse the stories that we tell every year, salty words wrapped up against the cold frontier. Oh, it's the third week of December and the magic is threadbare. It lives in the boxes that we didn't care to share. It's not the bright reflection or the perfectly trimmed tree. It's a small predictable comfort that still settles over me. And for a fragile hour, the pavement dust is gone, and I'm just trying on the feeling of where I belong. I used to think that growing up meant leaving ghosts behind, but the older I get, the more I find that happiness is a house built on uneven ground, and the truest peace is in the silence after the sound, when the fire is low and the whiskey's poured and you realize nothing vital has been ignored. The silence holds the weight of every year that passed, but we made it back to the first moment, holding fast. I trace the water stain beside the mantle crack, knowing I can't leave, but knowing I can come back. The vinyl spins down slow, the needle finally lifts, just the slow small sound of old familiar gifts. Third week of December, fading low, fading low. Ticket stub is worn thin at the crease. Another cross-country pilgrimage toward peace. But peace is a negotiated contract now, not the easy surrender of a childhood vow. I watch the strip malls bleed their hurried light, red and green, blinking ghosts in the fading night. The carols on the loop are too bright, too fast, trying to package up a feeling built to last. But the feeling's a ghost in the cheap vinyl seats, and the snow is just slush where the asphalt meets. And I'm searching for the static on the radio dial, where the old songs used to live for a little while. Not the polish, not the promise of a perfect scene, just the rough acoustic edge that sat between the silence and the sound, the before and the day. A memory you can't quite hold or sweep away. I'm just chasing the hum of the old fluorescent lights that burned down in the kitchen on those long December nights. I remembered '89, the year the boiler broke. We wore 4-wool sweaters, told terrible jokes. You strung tinsel on the fern instead of a pine. Said this year, darling, we're keeping the structural design. Dad tuned his old guitar until his fingers bled. Said the only gift we needed was the roof overhead. And we made those paper chains out of old newsprint, each loop held together by a shared blue tint of practical necessity and stubborn quiet pride, trying to catch a Christmas where we didn't have to hide. And I'm searching for the static on the radio dial, where the old songs used to live for a little while. Not the polish, not the promise of a perfect scene, just the rough acoustic edge that sat between the silence and the sound, the before and the day. A memory you can't quite hold or sweep away. I'm just chasing the hum of the old fluorescent lights that burned down in the kitchen on those long December nights. They sell nostalgia in bright boxes now, wrapped up neat, but you can't purchase the warmth of the worn wooden seat where I sat by the window, breathing on the glass, watching neighbors hurry home, moving too fast. It wasn't just the weather or the gifts underneath the tree. It was a space we kept sacred for just you and me. Before the knowing came, before the road stretched long, before I learned how easy it is to sing the wrong song. And I'm searching for the static on the radio dial, where the old songs used to live for a little while. Not the polish, not the promise of a perfect scene, just the rough acoustic edge that sat between the silence and the sound, the before and the day. A memory you can't quite hold or sweep away. I'm just chasing the hum of the old fluorescent lights that burned down in the kitchen on those long December nights. I'm just chasing the hum of the wires above the frosted roof. 25 winters ago, the proof was simple and quiet, and still waiting here, waiting here. In the silence,
the rental car is dusted white beneath a sky that's turning slate. I noticed on the drive that half the places we knew changed the gate. The gas station is a coffee shop, the bookstore selling vinyl now, but the porch light still throws that mustard glow on the single pine bough. I stepped across the welcome mat and braced myself for the old familiar sting of the hallway clock that used to count the days until the spring. There's the scent of clove and beeswax, and the radiator hums too loud. Another year, another trip, fading back into the crowd. It's not the bright manufactured joy they sell beneath the neon sign. It's this quiet architecture of December, built on thread and brittle twine. It's the tangled skein of extension cords and the fight to make the bulbs all match. The same cracked plastic shepherd we repair with glue and tape and patch. And if there is a magic here, it lives inside the things that broke, held together by the stubborn will of two worn ordinary folk who taught us how to love the effort, not the flawless end result. I found the same chipped wooden star tucked low beside the attic stairs that Dad would swear was too top heavy, tangled in Mom's silver hairs. We'd unspool the threadbare ribbon, breathing in that dusty cardboard scent, and listen to the needle lift on the old Bing Crosby record, slightly bent. And I remember sitting cross-legged, sorting out the colored glass, and thinking Christmas was a river that forever had to pass. But now I see it as a shoreline where the waves crash and retreat, and every year we find the same familiar sand beneath our feet. It's not the bright manufactured joy they sell beneath the neon sign. It's this quiet architecture of December, built on thread and brittle twine. It's the tangled skein of extension cords and the fight to make the bulbs all match. The same cracked plastic shepherd we repair with glue and tape and patch. And if there is a magic here, it lives inside the things that broke, held together by the stubborn will of two worn ordinary folk who taught us how to love the effort, not the flawless end result. I used to think that ritual was only meant for children's eyes, a safety net against the cold of sudden grown-up harsh surprise. But now I cling to every repetition, knowing what the clock implies. We are only anchored here for a minute before the new year starts to rise. And there's a comfort in the knowledge when the day has lost its sheen, that the worn box of tinsel is still waiting, perfectly unseen. The fire is low, the silence deep, the stockings are hung crooked still. I turn off all the modern lamps and let the colored tree lights fill the room with that slow, reflective glow. The slow, reflective glow. Before we let it go. The asphalt ribbon thins out west of Denver. I've been driving since the gray light broke on morning. 500 miles of cheap coffee and conjecture, tracing the creases on a map that needs no warning. The world outside is sharp and hurried, counting days down. to some idealized, frantic, ribbon-tied perfection. But I'm just listening for the sound the house makes, the quiet, worn-out sigh of familiar resurrection. It's not the glitter that they sell in the pharmacy aisles. It's not the miracle of snow that never falls here. It's the simple anchoring rhythm of those old roof tiles and the feeling of turning the key when nobody is near. We're tracing the same old lines in the December geography, looking for the place the calendar insists we belong. It's just about holding the quiet, the fragile certainty that for tonight nothing essential has gone wrong. I remember 15 years ago, a kitchen chair was broken. We used duct tape to hold the star atop the crooked pine. Dad swore softly every swear word carefully unspoken, and we drank hot cider spiked with something sweet and cheap and potent. That was the Christmas they said was such a disaster. The year the furnace broke and we wore socks inside our gloves. But those are the details the memory holds tighter, faster than any shining picture painted by perfect loves. We traded stories like chipped ceramic, vulnerable and real, instead of waiting for the joy the commercials guarantee. It's not the glitter that they sell in the pharmacy aisles. It's not the miracle of snow that never falls here. It's the simple anchoring rhythm of those old roof tiles and the feeling of turning the key when nobody is near. We're tracing the same old lines in the December geography, looking for the place the calendar insists we belong. It's just about holding the quiet, the fragile certainty that for tonight nothing essential has gone wrong. Now the porch swing is wrapped up tight in sheet plastic, and the oil furnace groans a little louder than before. There's a space where Grandpa used to hanging his heavy wool fantastic, but the light still leaks out from the gap beneath the door. And I finally understand that the ritual is the ballast, the reason we keep coming back to this spot on the map. Because even when the frame is cracked and time has moved the fastest, you can still lean in to the simple warmth inside the gap. The oil furnace sighs and then it catches. The floorboards creak beneath my leather boots. Just the smell of dust and pine needles on the matches. Just the silence, just the familiar roots. The geography demands that I am here now. I am here now, holding the quiet. dust has settled different here. Not the thick, sweet kind from 20 years. Just office air and radiator hum, waiting for a winter that won't come. I pulled the box down from the closet shelf. It weighs too much to carry by myself. A heavy cargo full of quiet ghosts of all the things that matter to me most. The cardboard corners ripped and taped again. The smell of pine needles and old cellophane. And I string the weary tangled wire, trying to build a memory on a meager fire. It doesn't matter if the bulbs don't match or if the latch is broken on the little catch. I'm just tracing lines I used to hold, searching for the story in the blue and cold. This weary work is how I keep you nearby, fighting off the quiet of this time of year. Lift the lid and there's that faded stain where cheap red wine spilled in the pouring rain. The night we drove it down from Cedar Street with Bing Crosby humming through the static heat. I touched the worn velvet where the glass star lies, reflecting on the ceiling in its dull surprise. You always hated how the silver tinsel shed, but kept it anyway, you always said. It's not about the sparkle or the sheen, finding beauty in the things between. And I string the weary tangled wire, trying to build a memory on a meager fire. It doesn't matter if the bulbs don't match or if the latch is broken on the little catch. I'm just tracing lines I used to hold, searching for the story in the blue and cold. This weary work is how I keep you nearby, fighting off the quiet of this time of year. There's a silence in the room now that wasn't there when we used to fight about where to put the chair. I listen hard for footsteps on the polished wood, but the only sound I hear is misunderstood. I finish hanging every single light. Notice how the shadows fall tonight, a little thinner, maybe not so deep, but still enough to lull the past to sleep. And I string the weary tangled wire, trying to build a memory on a meager fire. It doesn't matter if the bulbs don't match or if the latch is broken on the little catch. I'm just tracing lines I used to hold, searching for the story in the blue and cold. This weary work is how I keep you nearby, fighting off the quiet of this time of year. Yellow light is softly fading out, just dust and velvet, no more room for doubt. The ghosts are gone, the work is done, only 19 days till the morning sun. Warm velvet and tangled wire, my meager fire. The screen door sticks the way it always did. 40 degrees outside, the sky is slate and bruised. I pull the dusty box down from the attic here and find the tangled wire that nobody ever used.
They say the holidays are built on symmetry and glow, but the magic here was always chipped and loosely woven. Just the smell of ancient pine and 7 inches of soft snow, muting every restless outside sound. I'm sitting cross-legged on the rug you used to mend, the furnace kicking high, a nervous rattle inside. It wasn't the perfect ribbon or the message that they sent, it was the quiet weight of time just momentarily spent. Oh, we were searching for the feeling in the flicker of the flame, and now I realize the season is only half the name. It wasn't the bells or the carols ringing true, it was a knowing that the year would start with me and you. I find the tarnished angel with a wing that barely holds, the one you said was lovely though her face was cracked and worn. You used to tell me stories that the winter air grows cold, and how the best of memories are never clearly born. We'd string the fragile glass bulbs high above the mantelpiece, and half of them were blown out from the year before. You'd sip your lukewarm coffee, hoping just to find release from the worries waiting heavy at the kitchen door. You look at me and smile, a tired, tender sight, illuminated by the cheap, imperfect light. It wasn't the perfect ribbon or the message that they sent, it was the quiet weight of time just momentarily spent. Oh, we were searching for the feeling in the flicker of the flame, and now I realize the season is only half the name. It wasn't the bells or the carols ringing true, it was a knowing that the year would start with me and you. Now the vinyl skips a ghost within the low, slow hum, and the house is full of silence where your laughter used to fall. We spend our lives believing that the gold will surely come, when all along the warmth was in the leaning on the wall. And I understand the difference now between a wish and need, between the polished picture and the honest aching grace. We plant the seeds of comfort, not the perfect flawless creed, just holding fast until the morning light found this place. It wasn't the perfect ribbon or the message that they sent, it was a quiet weight of time just momentarily spent. Oh, we were searching for the feeling in the flicker of the flame, and now I realize the season is only half the name. It wasn't the bells or the carols ringing true, it was a knowing that the year would start with me and you. Yeah, the knowing that the year would start with me and you. I'm turning off the lights now, saving what little glow remains, tinsel and tarnish, until the snow falls down again, until the snow falls
highway hums a low electric sound, past cornfields asleep under frozen ground. I'm pulling up the drive where the gravel crunches hard, beneath the streetlight buzzing in the yard. It's the same faded ribbon on the same wooden door, just a little quieter than it was before. And the key fits the lock with the familiar easy groan, a history you never truly outgrown. And the tinsel is thin and the ornaments are chipped from the box we bring down every year. Handle slipped, we stack the same moments in the same dusty frame. And December calls everything by its childhood name. It's a borrowed sweater loose around the wrist. This quiet, complicated miracle we missed. We keep the porch light burning just to fight the dark. A fragile, persistent, momentary spark. There's a string of ceramic lights from sin before. Half of them flicker out before they hit the floor. And Mom plays the records on the turntable, low and scratched, a melody she bought before the whole world matched. The smell of ancient pine and floor polish too, ghost of things we once believed were true. You and I sit in the kitchen, stacking chipped white mugs, trading whispers in between the awkward hugs. And the tinsel is thin and the ornaments are chipped from the box we bring down every year. Handle slipped, we stack the same moments in the same dusty frame. And December calls everything by its childhood name. It's a borrowed sweater loose around the wrist. This quiet, complicated miracle we missed. We keep the porch light burning just to fight the dark. A fragile, persistent, momentary spark. The years are ghosts in the wallpaper glue. They whisper the promises we meant to follow through. We try to fix the picture perfect, hold the light too long, but the real warmth is found in where the focus went wrong. Not in the sudden, blinding flash of glitter clean and new, but in the slow, warm comfort of me and you. And the tinsel is thin and the ornaments are chipped from the box we bring down every year. Handle slipped, we stack the same moments in the same dusty frame. And December calls everything by its childhood name. It's a borrowed sweater loose around the wrist. This quiet, complicated miracle we missed. We keep the porch light burning just to fight the dark. A fragile, persistent, momentary spark. Just the glow on the mantle, the embers turning gray. We pack the bright fiction back into the dark away until next year, when the dust calls us home again. Tinsel and dust, my friend. Tinsel and dust. scent of cedar dust and burned coffee brewing slow. The kitchen radio is whispering a song we used to know. We pulled the storage boxes down from the attic stairs again, finding brittle yellow tape and the ghosts of earlier men. The tree leaned slightly to the left, exactly as it did that year. Felt angels' faces worn thin from 20 years of tear. It was a magazine perfection, just a knot of tangled wire, and the specific heavy quiet after the first log caught the fire. It wasn't in the carol bells or the crisp white driving snow. The grace I'm searching for was in the rhythm, soft and low. The way the yellow light would catch the dust motes in the air, and the comforting and assurance of knowing who was there. That's the kind of grace that doesn't shout and doesn't gleam, just the simple worn out truth inside a quiet waking dream. My father on the rug, untangling the cheap green cord. He'd swear beneath his breath about the life that he afforded. He told me that the greatest things are always found in the small breaks, the little flaws that hold the shape, the kindness that it makes. He'd pull the guitar from the case, tune loaded D-A-D-G, and play that simple wandering chord progression just for me. Not one of the loud required tunes, but a slow and minor thing, a steady hollow melody the old pine floors would bring. It wasn't in the carol bells or the crisp white driving snow. The grace I'm searching for was in the rhythm, soft and low. The way the yellow light would catch the dust motes in the air, and the comforting assurance of knowing who was there. That's the kind of grace that doesn't shout and doesn't gleam, just the simple worn out truth inside a quiet waking dream. Now I drive the highway home just watching for the signs, and I realize the magic lives outside the dotted lines. It wasn't the presents wrapped or ribbons tied or fortune spent, but that momentary fragile truce the old season always lent. A space where worry was exiled, where the world beyond the pain couldn't penetrate the thick glass, couldn't summon up the rain. And when the night was finally done and the last goodbyes were said, the quiet of the house would press against the silent dread, just the sound of the furnace breathing and the distant fading chime, the heavy settled stillness after we had beaten back the time, and the specific honest weight of all the unplugged lights. Yeah, the weight of the unplugged lights.
The asphalt turned to gravel outside of the county line, and the rush of the interstate gave way to the sound of time. I pulled the heavy coat tighter, smelled the damp air of this place. The porch light had dimmed a little since the last time I saw your face. The screen door has still got that tear across the lower right, and it rattles louder in the wind on these long winter nights. We used to tape up faded cards to the mirror by the hall. Now the photographs are thinner, hanging loose upon the wall. And it's Christmas again, but we don't try to fix what's broken. We just let the silence settle in like prayers that were half spoken. It's not the bright display that burned in the movies when we were young. It's the quiet, steady rhythm of the song that's finally sung. Yeah, we learned to stop counting all the years that disappeared and just hold the light that's left us burning steady and so clear. The tree is standing crooked, leaning hard against the shelf. Half the bulbs are burned out now. We couldn't bring ourselves to replace the stubborn strand that keeps flickering yellow and green. It reminds me of the compromises that happen in between the big wishes and the real slow-moving kind of grace. You put the old turntable on, filling up this empty space with the hiss of vinyl static and the voice of someone long since gone. Just a blanket thrown across the floor, waiting for the coming dawn. And it's Christmas again, but we don't try to fix what's broken. We just let the silence settle in like prayers that were half spoken. It's not the bright display that burned in the movies when we were young. It's the quiet, steady rhythm of the song that's finally sung. Yeah, we learned to stop counting all the years that disappeared and just hold the light that's left us burning steady and so clear. Remember when we thought if the morning came too slow, it meant that maybe Santa just forgot where he should go. Now I know the waiting is the gift, the space held in the pause between the frantic season ending and the weight of all the flaws. We gather in the kitchen, making cocoa by the stove. We gave up chasing ghosts and chose the warmth of what we love. And it's Christmas again, but we don't try to fix what's broken. We just let the silence settle in like prayers that were half spoken. It's not the bright display that burned in the movies when we were young. It's the quiet, steady rhythm of the song that's finally sung. Yeah, we learned to stop counting all the years that disappeared and just hold the light that's left us burning steady and so clear. Burning steady and so burning steady and so clear. Slow burn of the kitchen light. One more year, good night.
The air conditioning hums like the winter that we never got. Just the ghost of coal through the heating duct. I found that box of ornaments you taped shut in the highest shelf. Dust on the string of lights I couldn't untangle myself. And it only takes the smallest scent, burnt sugar, dried up needles, to pull the floorboards out from underneath my heels. You know, I don't remember the gifts, only the paper torn clean away, the quiet hum before the start of the holiday. It's the silence after the carols stop playing, the hollow sound of laughter echoing down the hall. We keep looking for the anchor in the snow globe, but the fragile memory is the heaviest thing of all, and I still carry the weight of tinsel year after year, waiting for the quiet sound of something true to reappear. I think of that green sectional couch covered by the scratchy wool blanket. My aunt would tune the radio just to hear Bing Crosby fade out, then crank it. We built a paper chain that stretched from the kitchen counter to the door frame, a fragile promise that the circle wouldn't break, wouldn't thin out, wouldn't lose its name. We were waiting for the snow to catch the light from the street lamp just right, a kind of borrowed reverence in the middle of the ordinary night. And I could feel the geometry of all the relatives we hadn't met yet, a chorus singing softly, something we wouldn't forget. It's the silence after the carols stop playing, the hollow sound of laughter echoing down the hall. We keep looking for the anchor in the snow globe, but the fragile memory is the heaviest thing of all, and I still carry the weight of tinsel year after year, waiting for the quiet sound of something true to reappear. Now the houses are sold and the names have changed on the buzzer. I drive past that street and it doesn't recognize my face. I guess Christmas isn't a date on the calendar or even a tree standing tall. It's just holding that exact shade of cold light in this empty space. We try to replicate the echo, we try to force the feeling, but the past is a window pane, cold and concealing. It's the silence after the carols stop playing, the hollow sound of laughter echoing down the hall. We keep looking for the anchor in the snow globe, but the fragile memory is the heaviest thing of all, and I still carry the weight of tinsel year after year, waiting for the quiet sound of something true to reappear. Just the light caught in the dust motes, spinning slow like the earth below the ice, a pine needle left in the carpet, a sharp reminder in the hum of the air conditioning, waiting for the next cold light, waiting for the light.
Dust has settled in different shades on the windowsills, I know, and the gravel cracks beneath the tires slow through half-hearted snow. I left the city's frantic pulse 6 states and 3 years back. Now the porch light burns a weaker yellow down this familiar track. Mom always hung the wreath too high, or maybe the cedar grew, but the silence on this December night is the only thing that's new. They tried to paint the living room some cold and modern shade, but the smell of pine and burning logs is the only promise made. I'm looking for the thread I lost between the tinsel strands, the feeling that slipped through my youth like sand between my hands. It wasn't found in flashing bulbs or ornaments of glass, just in the firelight on the wall and the quiet way time passed. I came home looking for the hum, the electric high-strung glow, but the heart of Christmas always waits where the simple shadows go. I went down to the basement air, damp with years and clay, and pulled the box that held the ghost we packed and stored away. Those lopsided angels, chipped and worn, that Aunt Beth crocheted badly, and the string of lights from '89 that always flickered sadly. I remember Dad cussing softly, balanced precariously on a chair, trying to keep the top branch straight, tied with binder twine and care. We never had the picture-perfect cover of the magazine. Ours was a sticky-fingered chaos, beautifully clumsy, deeply clean. I'm looking for the thread I lost between the tinsel strands, the feeling that slipped through my youth like sand between my hands. It wasn't found in flashing bulbs or ornaments of glass, just in the firelight on the wall and the quiet way time passed. I came home looking for the hum, the electric high-strung glow, but the heart of Christmas always waits where the simple shadows go. Maybe you grow too old to see the wonder in the wrap, and you trade the magic for the map, trying to trace where it collapsed. But sitting here where the house breathes deep and the floorboards know my weight, I realize that the warmth I sought wasn't sealed behind the gate. It's not in the perfect arrangement or the carol on the breeze, it's in the memory of the light shared between two unplugged trees. I found the thread I lost between the tinsel strands, the feeling that won't slip away like sand between my hands. It wasn't found in flashing bulbs or ornaments of glass, just in the firelight on the wall and the quiet way time passed. I came home looking for the hum, the electric high-strung glow, but the heart of Christmas finally waits where the simple shadows go, where the simple shadows go. Just the firelight on the wall and the snow outside falling slow. That's all. That's all.
The wrapping paper's tucked away, the sugar rush has died. I found a box of old salt ornaments hidden deep inside. The scent of pine is fading out, the needles dry and brown. Just me and the faint hum of the fridge light in this quiet sleeping town. I traced the outline of a stain where the tree stood proud and tall. I waited for the silence to break, but I'm the only echo in this hall. These are the tinsel box ghosts that haunt the closing year. Not the loud songs on the radio, but the memories held near of the year the attic leaked onto the fairy lights we strung, and all the fragile words we spoke when the evening bell was rung. But we lit the candles anyway against the mounting dark, a perfect story never written, but leaving its steady mark. I pulled out that cracked cassette tape, Christmas in the Pines. The tape is thin where Dad hit pause back in '89, when Uncle Joe was late again and the kitchen felt too small, and I hid beneath the dining table, trying not to watch them fall into that familiar rhythm, the shouting and the quick retreat. But then the music turned back on and we shared the last sticky sweet. We patched the arguments with foil and ribbon, temporary ties, and learned how love can look like tired hands and weary, honest eyes. These are the tinsel box ghosts that haunt the closing year. Not the loud songs on the radio, but the memories held near of the year the attic leaked onto the fairy lights we strung, and all the fragile words we spoke when the evening bell was rung. But we lit the candles anyway against the mounting dark, a perfect story never written, but leaving its steady mark. That child is 30 years gone now, chasing a different light. I thought the magic was in the snow or the star held high and bright, but standing here where the floorboards squeak the same way that they did, I realized the peace was never something that was carefully hid. It was just the worn out effort, the way we showed up year to year, imperfectly binding the frayed edges, holding back the fear. The scent of turpentine and old dry cedar smoke, the quiet weight of every fragile word that was ever spoke. We keep the lights on late, just hoping that we catch one last faint echo of that fragile broken patch, one last faint echo before the calendar turns. Porch light holds that same weak yellow glow. It hasn't melted snow for 20 years ago. And the lock still sticks, demanding two firm jolts. I smell the quiet dust and the tightening of old bolts. The floorboards sigh beneath my cautious tread, where ghosts of paper chains hang still above my head. Just the faint aroma of cedar and the boiler's slow hum, telling me I came back for a time that won't come. We string the lights up anyway, a defiant little gleam against the shadow of a half-forgotten dream. We try to make the silence sing the way it used to chime in this heavy velvet quiet of the borrowed time. We unpack the worn box of tinsel and chase a ghost we can barely call, trying to tune the frayed violin string of a December that won't answer the call. It's a lonely kind of patience when the memory won't fit the frame, and this fragile, hollow celebration just whispers your name. Remember how we argued over the first string of green, untangling the knotted wires till our fingers were keen. You always hid the angel until the very last hour, said the weight of anticipation gave the whole thing power. Now the attic hatch is closed and the ladder is still down. I guess some traditions are too heavy to haul back from town. And I realized that star was never truly yours or mine. It was just a borrowed light upon a wilting pine. We light the cheap scented candle, trying hard to pretend the scent of cinnamon can bring back an absent friend. We try to make the silence sing the way it used to chime in this heavy velvet quiet of borrowed time. We unpack the worn box of tinsel and chase a ghost we can barely recall, trying to tune the frayed violin string of a December that won't answer the call. It's a lonely kind of patience when the memory won't fit the frame, and this fragile, hollow celebration just whispers your name. The calendar pages are stripped down to the wire. The only heat left here is the echo of a fire. And I know the magic wasn't the frost on the glass, it was the unspoken promise of the moments that passed. You can't rewind the ribbon back to that silent evening star. Just try to catch the faint reflection deep inside your heart. The cheap tinsel is fading, fading to gray. We put the worn box away and wait for the long, slow light of the solstice to break. Wait for the break, wait for the new year to quietly take the worn box of tinsel